More and more women are becoming childless, unmarried, and miserable.
If women don't choose you first, you're basically cooked.
A lot of women are giving their power away in 2026.
Women are more emotional and less logical.
We broke boys and then we got mad at the men that they became.
What if the biggest relationship trend of 2026 isn't about who is dating, but about who has stopped making dating their top priority? Why are more men choosing themselves first, and what does that mean for modern relationships and the dating market? Stay with us until the end of this video because today's discussion explores one of the most talked about shifts in modern dating and why so many people are debating its long-term impact.
More and more women are becoming childless, unmarried, and miserable. By 2030, nearly half of women aged 25 to 44 will be single and childless. And like that wasn't enough, depression will become the leading cause of disability, with women being affected at twice the rate than men. And all of this is thanks to feminism and the boss babe mentality. Listen, girls, biology does not care about your career, and your mental health doesn't either. Your ovaries have an expiration date. If you're an empowered 35-year-old and single career woman, you aren't living your best life. You're expiring while looking at frozen eggs in a cabinet full of antidepressants. This is not freedom or empowerment. This is a total mess for our whole society. And men, you need to step the fuck up too. Stop being so weak and passive. What the hell happened to you? Start leading again. Become masculine and start guiding women while they're still young, because this isn't just a woman problem. It's a we problem, and you men are the leaders.
For years, many men believed that their success depended on constantly pursuing relationships. Today, a growing number are taking a different approach by putting their own goals before everything else.
Everyone's arguing about men versus women, while the real win is happening above you, because divided people are weak people, and right now we are more divided than ever. Men are being demasculated, women are being told they don't need men. The agenda that relationships are and apparently always have been transactional is spiraling. People are together for what they can get: sex, money, validation, selfish reasons, and everyone is replaceable. Everything is acceptable and everyone can be everything and whatever they can be. There are no boundaries, and we're acting like all of this is just normal. I think this is exactly where capitalism and the people at the top want us, because strong nuclear families, they don't benefit from chaos. A man who leads, provides, protects, a woman who nurtures, supports, builds their home, two people who are committed to something bigger than themselves. That structure is strong. That structure creates discipline, loyalty, stability. And if you weaken that, you weaken everything. So what do? Push independence over unity, blur roles, reward selfishness, turn men and women against each other. Now look, everyone's defensive, everyone's trying to win or one-up each other instead of building. And we're feeding into it. Every time you treat the opposite sex like the enemy, every time you move from ego, hurt, or revenge, you're playing your part perfectly. That is not how we were meant to live. That is not what marriage is supposed to be. And if you believe in God, then you know this isn't the design. So stop asking who's right. Stop asking who hurt you. Ask yourself, am I building something real, or am I contributing to the breakdown? Because if we don't come back together, if men don't step up and women don't meet them there, then this only goes one way, and it's not a good one.
Instead of organizing their lives around dating, many men are investing in fitness, careers, financial stability, travel, and personal development. They are asking whether every commitment truly improves their quality of life.
Every single one of my girlfriends has a second job. Like, majority of my friends work in corporate and have a full-time job and have at minimum one other job on the side. But then I started thinking more deeply about it, and I was like, hold on. Every single guy I know that is my age that works a similar corporate job to all of us does not have a second job. And I'm like, like weird how that works. And then I was like, why? So I've come to 3 conclusions. One, being a girl is just more expensive. Being a woman is inevitably more expensive. If a man tries to argue on this, like, F him. I mean, period, supplies. Being the one that buys every single gift for every single holiday, beauty standards, like, we could go on and on and on. I won't. 2, women are not getting paid enough, obviously, like, common conclusion that everyone's known for a long time now, but like just not getting paid enough. 3, the corporate world was literally made by men for men. Corporate wasn't designed for women. Like, the 9 to 5 is designed off of the male hormone cycle. Literally, that's why it was made. That's why happy hours are a thing. It was made for men. Women are much more entrepreneurial, creative, generally speaking, not every single person, but generally speaking, and just are not meant for a corporate environment. All in all, conclusions are: 1, it's so expensive being a girl; 2, we need to get paid more; and 3, I think more women need to be entrepreneurs, because every single woman-run business is like badass as fuck. So anyway, let me know your thoughts.
This shift is changing how many men make decisions. Rather than saying yes to every opportunity, they are becoming more selective about where they spend their time, money, and emotional energy.
You're a man, I do not care how depressed you are, how socially isolated you are, how down bad you are. If you then go become violent towards other people, you assault people, kill people, rape women, like, I actually don't care. You do not get a fucking pass. And society should not be giving you one. I am so sick of seeing these cases where a man does something incredibly violent, kills somebody, and they're like, we need to have a conversation about the mental health of our youth. That's fucking bullshit. That is genuinely fucking bullshit. Oh my gosh, it's not an excuse, but it's just like an explanation as to why they did it. First of all, if you genuinely have mental health issues where you're severely depressed, you are more likely to become a victim, not the fucking perpetrator. So that's a bullshit excuse. Conditions like PTSD, depression, anxiety, most mood disorders does not meaningfully increase violent behaviors, okay? A lot of things can factor into why men statistically show up as more violent when it comes to mental disorder. Probably just because men just commit more violent crimes, but things like, substance disorder and socialization play a factor, obviously. But when a man does something violent, he is probably not mentally ill, okay? He is just a violent, bad person that needs to be put away. There is no conversation about men's mental health and preventative violence, and that's just not a conversation. That's just not a thing, okay? So stop using it as an excuse. Stop framing it as if these men who genuinely do terrible, god-awful things have some kind of problem here, because the people who actually have problems here don't end up like that, okay? By framing these crimes as a mental health problem, you are doing a disservice to mentally ill men, but also getting in the way of these horrible, awful people getting the justice that they deserve. Stop trying to soften the blow. Like, it's not working. You're wrong.
One noticeable difference is confidence. Men who feel fulfilled on their own often approach relationships as a choice rather than a necessity, and that changes how they respond to pressure or expectations.
And have you ever noticed that every issue that predominantly affects men is self-inflicted?
And here we go again.
Men's loneliness issue, self-inflicted.
If someone dislikes men so much, why talk about them absolutely constantly?
Men deciding to themselves, self-inflicted.
Right. So their mental health problems are their own fault. Yeah, happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Men having lower custody rates of their children, self-inflicted once again.
Really? And how exactly would someone go about actually explaining that?
And despite these issues being self-inflicted, you still demand that women help you fix these issues. Women are not the root cause of men's issues, and it is entitled for you to act as if women need to help you fix the issues that you have going on in your own community.
I haven't heard a single man actually demand that women assist them with helping them. But calling asking for help entitlement? Well, that's a whole new level.
These men feel entitled to women's emotional labor and empathy whenever we're not getting the same in return.
There are some women out there that actually view empathy as something that is transactional. Gentlemen, you should avoid them.
And the reason that women demand that men give a fuck about our issues is because men are the root cause of women's issues.
How very convenient.
Men are the root cause behind violence against women, sexual violence against women, femicide, etc. And unfortunately, since this violence is being inflicted upon women by men, we cannot just fix that ourselves. We need men to also be advocating for and helping women stop these issues.
Well, if someone didn't have their heads firmly stuck in the sand, then they would realize how many men actually do advocate for this and support women's issues. However, I guess since they don't all post it on the internet, someone doesn't think they exist.
Your self-inflicted issues are not my battle to fight. You're a big boy, babe. Fight your battles yourself.
How very charming. But yes, gentlemen, there are actually women out there that really do care about you. Not all women are like that.
Social media has accelerated this trend by exposing millions of men to conversations about self-improvement, financial independence, and building a meaningful life outside of dating.
A lot of men aren't leaving because they cannot handle a good woman. They are leaving because they are tired of paying for damage they did not cause. So you think you're Mr. Right? You check all the boxes. You're calm, you're consistent, you provide, and you are still getting attitude, you're still getting distance, you're still getting tested, you're still getting manipulated, you're still getting disrespected. Now you're confused because you don't get it. You don't see what it is you're doing wrong. And to be honest, it's nothing. You are simply dealing with somebody who's in defense and reactive mode. A lot of women don't hate men. They just don't know how to act when they are not being hurt. So they self sabotage. They create problems where there are none. They question intentions that are clear and they pull away when things start to feel steady. Because these women are used to chaos and peace feels unfamiliar and unfamiliar feels unsafe. And a lot of men, they're going to deal with that for a while. But at some point, they're going to check out. Because no man wants to keep proving himself to somebody who is committed to misunderstanding him.
As more men embrace this mindset, expectations on both sides begin to shift. Traditional dating patterns are being questioned, and people are adapting to a different social landscape.
Raw truth that nobody wants to accept, right? But in 2026, and I don't see this stopping, right, for the next 3, 4, 5 years into 2027, 2028, 29, and 2030, it's only going to get worse. If women don't choose you first, you're basically cooked. If she's not choosing you first, listen, women are so spoiled for choice in today's day and age, like most guys have no idea. You have to think of this from a woman's perspective, right? She has every online dating app. She has social media. She has every dude that would be willing to approach her, out at the bar, out at the gym, wherever. And just dating apps alone, like, guys don't understand, right? Like, a woman can literally load up a dating app. Okay, she can literally load up a dating app and have matches, like hundreds of matches, literally sometimes within 24 hours. Like, that's how many thirsty, not even necessarily thirsty, that's just like how many men would be willing to say yes, because a lot of times women are way more choosy than guys are. So, like, this is the cold reality most guys are just going to have to accept. Like, if she is not choosing you, you're pretty much screwed. Okay, what you need to be spending all your time doing, or almost all of your time doing if you can, is you need to make yourself a chosen man.
That does not mean relationships have become unimportant. It means many men now expect relationships to complement their lives instead of becoming the center of them.
We broke boys, and then we got mad at the men that they became. We told them crying was weakness. We told them to man up, rub some dirt on it, be a rock, be a wall, be anything except a human being with feelings. And that wasn't toughness. That was emotional amputation. There's a clinical term for what happens when you're trained to suppress every emotion you have. It's called alexithymia, the inability to identify or describe what you feel. And when you can't name what you feel, sadness, grief, loneliness, fear, it all converts to the one emotion men are allowed to have: anger. So now you got millions of emotionally starving men with no vocabulary for their own inner world. And along comes a guy on a podcast with a cigar and a Lamborghini saying, "I see your pain." And he's right, they are in pain. But instead of teaching them how to feel, he hands them someone to blame. Your loneliness isn't because you were raised emotionally bankrupt. It's because feminism ruined women. Your grief isn't unprocessed. You're just not dominant enough. The manosphere didn't create the wound. We did. They just infected it and called it a cure. Class dismissed.
This new attitude is making some people rethink long-held assumptions about dating. If both men and women are becoming more selective, the dynamics naturally become more complex.
We have more single-parent homes than any place in the world, and it's typically the mother. 82 to 80% of the time, it's the mother heading the household. And what's interesting is in single-parent households, girls have the same outcomes, same rates of college attendance, same income. They can be a little bit more promiscuous because they're looking for male attention, sometimes in the wrong areas. But on the big stuff, income, self-harm, college attendance, same rates as in a dual-parent household. When a boy loses a male role model through death, divorce, or abandonment, at that moment, he becomes more likely to be incarcerated than graduate from college. So what the research shows is that while boys are physically stronger, they're emotionally and neurologically much weaker than girls. And so when you have a lot of economic and sociological factors kind of robbing opportunity from young people as a whole, people under the age of 40 are 24% less wealthy than they were 40 years ago, people over the age of 70 are 72% wealthier, it's had a disproportionately negative impact on young men. And I started talking about this about 5 years ago. The dialogue's gotten a lot more productive.
Whether this trend grows or fades, one thing is difficult to ignore. More men are deciding that personal growth, stability, and peace of mind deserve as much attention as romantic success.
Women are more emotional and less logical.
That's not true.
Is it not true? Well,
No.
Jen, my experience has been this.
This is what...
I got
another
Maria fired up.
podcast, because this is my work now, is understanding how emotions play a role in leadership and decision making. I can talk about this for a very long time, but just to make a point is that we are emotional creatures and we cannot make decisions and we cannot be logical without them, both men and women.
Very important, yeah.
And what annoys me is the fact that the word emotion is gendered. The fact that women are emotional and men are not. They're somehow logical.
Let me explain.
And you told me of the story about when you went to see your boss and you were presenting and he was just there on his BlackBerry, annoyed or throwing staplers or whatever it is. That is the emotion that is allowed in men. Anyway, that's my piece.
The biggest takeaway is not that men are rejecting relationships. It is that many are redefining what a successful life looks like and refusing to measure themselves by dating alone.
A lot of women are giving their power away in 2026. We're watching systems fall apart in real time. And yet there's still some women that want to be taken care of, who don't want to think or don't want any responsibility, who just want somebody else to run their life. Girls, we can't do that anymore. Some women complain about having to build their own lives, but they have absolutely no idea what life was like when women were not allowed to do that. You couldn't have your own money and had to take abuse, when you couldn't make your own decisions, when your entire life belonged to somebody else. Your soul chose this timeline and this exact moment in history where women finally have the opportunity to be self-led, and instead of stepping into that power, they want someone else to lead them. They want a man to take control. And listen, I love that too, but look around. Look at the state of our leadership. Look at the wars. Look at the chaos. Look at how many men can't even regulate their own emotions, and look at how many of them are sitting in jail because they couldn't control themselves. And you want to hand the steering wheel over to them, to the manosphere? No! The most powerful thing a woman can do in 2026 and beyond is become self-led. Take ownership of your own life, your mind, your decisions, your direction, and stop giving your power away, because when you actually understand your power and how to use it, that creates a ripple effect that impacts everybody around you, our sons. Standing in your own truth and owning who you are, becoming the embodiment of the life you want to live. Now, that is power.
So here is the real question. If more men continue putting self-improvement, purpose, and independence first, how will that reshape the future of modern dating and relationships over the next few years?
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest